Mēs uzreiz ķeramies pie paneļdiskusijas pirms noslēdzošās daļas. Runāsim mēs par procesu nepārtrauktību darba aizsardzībā, kā to saglabāt krīzes apstākļos. Tāpat par darba aizsardzības mainību izaicinājumu laikā, par inovācijām darba aizsardzībā un apmācība un izglītošana darba aizsardzības jomā, kā sagatavot darbiniekus un vadību neparedzētiem izaicinājumiem. Aicināsim šeit uz skatuves mūsu runātājus. So we will be asking to the stage our speakers, back to the stage. Make sure, please, you have your translational devices ready, because the discussion will be in Latvian, so our public can join in also. And I will try to be slow. Jā, nu tad aicinām lūdzu skatuves. Olha, welcome back to the stage, chair number 2. Šeit Jolanta lūdzu, pirmais krēsls, and Francesco, chair number 4. All right, let us set up the stage for this discussion, and we will start with first question. Oh, by the way, this discussion is also sponsored by a little bit by Samsung, providing translational devices. Tātad, paldies Samsungam par tulkojamo ierīču nodrošināšanu. Sāksim mēs ar pirmo jautājumu, un pirmais jautājums ir par darba aizsardzības procesu nepārtrauktību. Kā to saglabāt krīzes situācijās? Kā mēs ļoti labi zinām, krīzes situācijās tā var atgadīties, ka viss pārējais tiek likts pirmajā vietā, var atgadīties, ka daža laba sistēma varbūt paliek novārtā, var atgadīties, ka cilvēkiem ir svarīgākas lietas, ar ko nodarboties, un viņi ir tie pirmie, kas arī varbūt sāk veikt kaut kādus to saucamos shortcutus drošības jautājumos. Tātad, kā saglabāt šo domāšanu par to, ka darba aizsardzība arī sarežģītos apstākļos ir liela nozīme. Olha, mēs dzirdējām jūsu prezentācijā, ka šobrīd varbūt Ukrainā ir pat vairāk speciālistu šajā jautājumā tieši tādēļ, ka visam jānotiek ļoti droši. Diemžēl, protams, Ukrainas situācija nevienam nav jāstāsta, cik tas ir svarīgi. Bet kas ir galvenais, kas vislabāk strādā, runājot ar cilvēkiem par darba aizsardzību?
Yes, so first of all, could you imagine any emergency situation? You cannot react properly in time. You need time to adapt to the situation. And in our case, for example, you have an option just to follow, do not react on alarms and just continue working how it was before, and just to not react and rely on God, let's say.
Yeah.
But another option is simultaneously build shelter, changes your normal processes and adapt to new situations. And companies make it different way. Some, I would say, they stay and they rely on God and they believe that nothing will happen. Another relocate, another they build shelters and adapt properly and they stop the activities. And for example, in times as far as they build in the new shelters, they take people and rent some buses, and they in times of attacks, they go to safe places and they go back. So first of all, it's adaptation, and I do recommend it. Just do not compromise, follow something, change something. So adaptation.
But we know also that people started not to follow instructions very early. What has changed since then?
Yes, so it's usual in health and safety, not always and not everyone follows instruction. It's not just for emergency situations. So leading by example, first of all, it depends on head of enterprise. If he says, yes, it's first, it's our people than all that we produce, so it will work. So leadership.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. So surprisingly, we haven't had any meeting prior to this conference, but I think we are aligned because one of the things I said is invest in people, and that means provide them with the adequate abilities and competencies. And I think occupational health and safety professionals and the workers they care of will perform better if there's some slack, what we call some slack. So measures put in force or in place should allow people to adapt, as Olga was saying, so they are able to make adjustments. And when we are facing an emergency situation, something like that, if there's this slack that I'm talking about, safety is not compromised. Because people are trained, have the knowledge, because it's not always, it's not simple to have a procedure and say, follow the procedure. People need to understand, why should I follow that procedure?
Why?
When can I neglect the procedure and adjust it? And I think what is lacking is that knowledge. Workers and safety professionals themselves are not aware of that knowledge that is lacking there.
Are you saying safety professionals are lacking that knowledge?
I think, yes. Yes.
Jolanta?
I think we can't rely only on a safety professional knowledge. It's all the leaders who play a crucial role, because from my experience, it is safety professional is the one. Of course, my role is to explain the rules, to explain the requirements, to give this why. But when the eyes are closed, for example, by operational manager who just don't follow this operational discipline, that the rules are followed by everyone, not just when safety professional is in the room, so then it will not be sustainable, then it will not be what will stay. But I fully agree to what you said. It is about giving this explanation of why. We need to prepare in advance, like with the technical tools, with the technical things, with the equipment, with everything. But at the end guarding is this person. It is us as a people, how we react in case of emergency. Do we take a shortcut or not? And it's, of course, everyone. And we need to find this why, and we can't forget about proper communications all the time with the people, keep them informed, explain them why, raise an awareness. And I think the most important element, it is the communications. Always be open, always be transparent to what extent you can, of course, in the situation of crisis. But when you don't know what is happening, what to do, how to do, you will find your own ways. You're already in stress, so then you're just finding your own ways there. But I would not, just safety professionals, we are crucial, but we are not the key.
Francesco?
Can I just compliment?
Yeah, sure.
We are not working alone.
Of course.
OSH is not solely OSH professionals' business. It's everyone's business.
Of
so
course.
Everyone must be involved.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
The best safety system in the organization is where the safety professionals are not needed.
Is it? Exactly.
Are not needed.
Are not needed. I think I have done my work really excellent when organization is aware of the risks. They know how, they are equipped with the tools, they understand reason why, and I can be at the side.
Mm-hmm.
They are already living that process.
Until they forget it.
They will not forget because that's their core already.
That is. Francesco?
Okay, they said most of the things. I think that the one issue is the involvement of all the staff, of all the people, and safety is not a specific activity. Is a part of the business, as exactly as quality, as economic cost, and so on. So you cannot say this is to just a problem of Rui or me or Olga. No, this is a part of the business. So it's a part of the business, and we have to manage it inside the business too. And I learned it when I was in a very big company. And when we talk about any kind of application, from changing a production line up to changing a design on a logo, okay, every time we start to see what is the safety effect, what is the cost effect, what is the quality effect, and now what is the environment effect. So we need to take safety as a part of the business itself. No problem at all.
And it all begins with the situation when safety instructions is a separate event normally in working places. It's like we have this, and then we will have a day of safety. So are you saying it should be already part of this?
Yes.
Onboarding.
Yes. It's the same aspect. Safety rules are not really rules, is something that you do for a reason. So you have to work on why you do this, why you have this procedure, especially in emergency situation. Probably we all know that when Twin Towers happens, there was a rule that it was not to use elevator, lift, because there is a problem of fire on this level. The people who get saved, most of them, were the one who used the elevator, because the elevator worked for 20 minutes about. They worked and they do not use the rule because the rule was not think to this scenario, okay, that is collapsing of the tower. Okay, so we have to understand why there is a rule and to define the rule in different scenarios.
So people should question rules.
Yes.
Of course.
Question, yes, of course. Exactly as we do see in the department activity. There is a rule, but why there is a rule? I go up the machine because the machine says the paper is broken. You didn't tell me how to do it. You didn't give me this. So the rule don't work on the machine is not correct. Because you say, don't work on the machine, but start the machine as soon as possible. So we have to change the rule, the way to go on the machine, and then you can go on the machine. So the reason is why, and adapt the rule, and the involvement of the people. Because as Rui said, talking with the people in the department, you understand, as many of us said, people is not willing to break the rules because it's fun, is interesting to break the rule. But there is a reason. Probably the rule in this moment is not correct or is not adapt. Sometimes the rule is correct and you have to work with the rule.
Just a second, one little note to our Latvian listeners. Jūs saprotat, ka nedaudz dīvaina situācija šobrīd, ka mūsu lielākā daļa dalībnieku runā angliski, un tāpat jums ir nepieciešams tulkojums, kurš netiek galā. Varbūt, ka mēs varam pagūt vēl pieslēgt to aplikāciju, un jūs varat saņemt tulkojumu, ja nepieciešams, ja kādam tas nepieciešams ir. Mēs tiekam galā? Viss labi? Paldies jums. So, we just decided it's a little awkward to try me talking Latvian when you will answer in English anyway. So let's move on then to our next question, which is about innovations in occupational safety and also what is the changing nature. And also that is, of course, a little different for Olha. And what has changed dramatically, not just, of course, those new hazards because of war and aggression from Russia, but also if you have learned totally new something, if you have become much better in occupational safety and health questions, not only like wearing the proper gear because of the bombardment, but especially for the occupational safety. What has changed just because you had an opportunity?
Yeah, first of all, it's very rapidly you need to create new safety instruction or new bombing. So that means, phosphoric bombs. What should you do? So your employees are waiting.
Even bombs are different.
Yeah, of course. And, demining or new types of different types of mines. That means that you as a professional need to obtain information from reliable sources. And what I would like to highlight is that sources would be reliable. You cannot imagine how many information came from our enemies from Russia, just to make us mistakes. And
really?
Yes, indeed. So that's why reliable sources and very rapidly we need to incorporate it into our business processes. So that's a challenge, but now we learn how to react rapidly.
So, and it costs you dearly.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes it's...
So for us to learn, just in case, hopefully never will need this, but so how that wrongful information came in, where people got it?
It's a good question. So on social nets, you have different ways how to react. If you see some mine or something, or what should you do, or where should you hide yourself, or all this information really differ. So first of all, and now we know that we need rely just on state information rescue team. But before, first reaction was we obtained a lot from different.
Whatever you can
knows
get.
TikTok or something. Where does it from? We just then understood. So it was really they try to fool us. So it's normal for war. We just didn't recognize it before.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
How much time did it take for you to adapt?
Good question. So differ from different situations. Some of them probably we even now don't understand that someone fooled with us. It could be, but anyway. So first of all, do not trust real, and expert make mistakes. Exactly. So we need to exchange information rapidly, quickly. If you have some, it works better. Let's do it. Some of our shelters didn't protect, although they were made according to state codes, but written a bit before, based on the
old information.
Yes, it was relevant after the World War II, but let's say for the current situation, this norm are not relevant anymore. So very quick adaptation. It's a core.
And
what we need.
What
to
are
learn.
the best channels? How you exchange that information? How you do it?
Sets association and organizations, and I really appreciate all internationals that I belong to, and INSPO from Francesco, and a lot of where Latvia is. So in European Union and abroad, just make this communication very, very open, yes, and just make some channels, yes.
So what are the best channels? Like what? WhatsApp groups or emails?
Exactly. So signal groups or something that you can very rapidly. The main question that I have a lot of groups of professionals, and they agro, oil, gas, and they very rapidly share information.
But those channels should be established already before any crisis appears.
Would be good. Would be good.
Okay. So, but still, we are also talking about situations when, like crisis abroad or new knowledge comes into organizations. So, what has been changing lately for last 2, 3, 4, 5 years because of these crises? What has been changed if we talk about Osh?
Okay, so
I think that is easier. We say what is remains the same. That is most things.
yes,
Nothing is the same.
Exactly.
nothing is the same, but the old problems remain.
Yes.
And that is a problem
Which are?
because we are not solving. We nowadays, everyone speaks about digitalization.
Yeah.
And that's not a reality in most companies, surprisingly, because digitalization is not having a computer on a desk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for many people, that's what they call digitalization. So we still have companies struggling with airborne contaminants. We still have lots of companies and workers struggling with noise exposure. So the old problems remain. So, okay, we have to deal with emerging risks. That's true, but we must not forget that the old ones remain in many places. So this is one thing that we must keep in mind. The other thing I think it's important is that nowadays this new technology brings new opportunities, but new risks. And we have to take the advantage of the opportunities. I will give you an example. Yesterday, I received a paper that was submitted for publication in an international journal that is about the risks and posed by the use of smartphones at work. At the same time, I have a project running that is testing the use of smartphones to monitor and to assess noise exposure, lighting in the workplace. So I'm working towards having an equipment that everyone has on their pocket and make it useful for occupational health and safety purposes. And on the other hand, there are people that are assessing how dangerous is it to deal and be playing with it at the workplace. So you see, you have two different aspects concerning the same object, the same instrument, in the same reality, because that's the workplace.
Yeah, but if you are having these new technologies and you're thinking how to use the mobile phone for safety needs, there probably would be some application which would be monitoring all these things, and maybe including if you're not using or using for entertainment your mobile phone in the areas which are dangerous for you not to be aware. So probably that could be like implemented in the new technology. The monitoring technology.
For the specific case of the smartphones for OSH purposes, my project doesn't include the use of by the workers. It's for the OSH professionals.
All right.
So that question is not
because
really
the
a question.
idea was everyone has it on him or her, and it could be used straight away, knowing where the person is.
It's mainly for making use of an existing equipment that is not as expensive as those that we have to buy for this purpose, and doesn't require the how can I say, the calibration that is demanded to be provided by special laboratories.
Yeah.
It's to overcome these problems.
I see. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood. I thought everyone has the mobile phone. Let's monitor.
No, because there are ethical issues, as Francesca already mentioned. So we have to be careful about that.
Okay. All right. Any more innovations and changes coming because of crisis or because of technologies? Of course, we have heard Jolanta's presentation where we can see how it all works. But what about a case of crisis? So do you have like protocols which are saying we can do these shortcuts on OSH measures in case of this and that crisis? Like we had special institutions, for example, the Latvian state institutions, which have different levels of severity of the event where you can act differently. Do you have this like instruction in case of crisis where you can skip some OSH requirements?
I think it's hard to define fully like how to act, and it's more about training the team to act properly in case of crisis, that they are able to evaluate, because at the end of the day, when it comes to this occupational health and safety, it is about protecting people and put them in less possible danger. So, and it's hard, now to say, okay, situation X, we act like that. You can't predict. So that's why you train the thinking process of maximal reasonable consequences of the outcome, and you train on a hierarchy of controls, and you train the organization to be able to evaluate what is happening now and how to act, because we have, I think, a lot of, we don't have, luckily, the experience what colleagues in Ukraine are going through, and as we have the simple things, but like every smallest workplace accident, it's part of crisis. And in case if you have more severe or fatal accidents, so then it's even the bigger crisis. And then COVID time learned us a lot because we needed to adapt quickly. There is at the end, like at 10 o'clock, government have finalized their discussions, and there is from tomorrow is this requirement. You need to adapt, and then you try to just ensure that you still can continue run the business, but do it in safe way for your people.
All right, that is always also the last question of our discussion, the training. So how to train people so they are ready for the situation of crisis, and are all the people capable of that training? Maybe there's type of people who are just not meant for that. So the training, what is the best training for situations of crisis? And is there any for everyone?
Yes, training is training and activity to simulate scenarios, so related to, not really training, but to engage-based training. I mean, we cannot accept training as 20 years ago. So you are in a position, you have to do this training that is ruled, and you have 10 hours on this job, 8 hours on this job. No, forget it. You have to work on training that is coming from the field. So explain what you want to the performance you want from the people, and ask to the people, to the manager, to the leader, what training do you need? And then you can have a train that is mainly based on voluntary base and not on a ruled base. Okay? And second, switch off from training patent. So you are a good host professional because you had 20 hours on this application. No. Please, you have a certification because you pass an examination, you have a discussion with an expert. So certification of the ability, not of the training. It's not important the number of hours you spend.
So it's not output, it's outcome.
Yes. I would not be happy to go on a plane where the pilot have made so many hours, but nobody check if he's able to drive a plane.
But he's still alive.
Up to now. So the problem is not the training, but is the efficacy of the training.
Okay.
This is completely different. And to have a training efficacy, the training must be discussed with the people who have to be trained.
Okay. All right.
So involvement of the people.
Yolanda?
If I can add to this one, and I think the quantity goes beyond sometimes the quality, and we need to have it vice versa. And I think nowadays we are still quite often focused on this theoretical type of the training and less practical. And there is still, we feel comfortable more as a professionals to do this PowerPoint type of the trainings where you gather the room together with the people, you put the PowerPoint slides, and then you click. Luckily, there is some videos included or pictures from the field, but at least, but then you see that's maybe it's my experience too, but sometimes you gather the production employees, for example, in the meeting room, they are after the shift or before the shift, they are not focused, and after the few minutes you see that the one person is getting like looking around, someone is getting sleepy. It's because there is no interaction, and I think we have opportunities nowadays to put people in the danger without putting them in the danger.
For example?
There is virtual reality, where you can develop virtual reality simulators. We have recently done it, and we have the forklift driver training where you can drive the forklift and there is different awareness elements. You can pay attention. I don't have the driver license. I can't drive the forklift, but now I can feel how it is, how limited visibility is there. And there is 360 awareness elements where you can build it with the interactive part. And if you combine this interactive elements with theoretical, then it shows the value.
All right. Anything else to add? Olga, what has been the most efficient way of training people?
Yeah, so I would say, first of all, our expectation also was a mistake. We thought that Wi-Fi will disappear the first one. But on the contrary, so we have Wi-Fi, we have communication. That means that we can provide, as you said, very, very quick, rapid knowledge, and it helps. So first of all, it's use what you can in just transferring knowledge. But what to develop? Develop life-saving behavior. A lot of examples where, living block was hit by missiles, and then just one family was alive because they went to the shelter. All others were died. So this habit, it was not this time. That means that many already times they went to the shelters, but others not. So life-saving habits, it's like behavior. And also, it's not about scenarios only. It's about developing, understanding what is going on. It's like accepting. And you asked me before, what is this stupid question? And now it came into my mind. I was asked by a Russian, you have war, but who bombed you? And then, they didn't understand. No, people in Russia, sometimes they didn't understand that they bombed us. So
they don't understand that.
They don't, some of them. And even now, even Ukrainians, they think, it's a war, but what's going on? Yeah, so you can imagine people in villages, they even don't understand what's going on. They don't see, or they don't understand actually what TV and so on. But it's for us, it's for safety people, and it's an information we need to widen their vision, what can be, what can happen.
What exactly is going on, and what is life-saving, what is life-saving and health-saving behavior.
Behavior, habits, yes.
Thank you. Please. I must finish here, and thank you very much for being with us in this discussion.
Thank you.
And let us move, one picture, let's do it all together, the historic picture, and then let's move to the closing part. Mēs visi dodamies uz blakus, ne uz A zāli, kas ir aiz šīs, un tiekamies uz noslēdzošo daļu, un arī uz loterijas izlozi. Esiet klāt, ja jūs pierakstījāties. Tikmēr aplausu lūdzu mūsu diskusiju panelim. Paldies par atbalstu.